Are we recording? Yes.
Yes.
That we will commence with the Bonneville County Road and Bridge meeting for July 8th, 2025. Who's first?
Okay, so I have an amended notice of public hearing. It's for the road 105. Proposed road validation. This one's amending it to have the hearing on 12th of August.
We get to do it this time.
I hope so.
Everybody gonna be back in. Staff when it's approved for the hearing.
Hopefully.
Okay, good.
I think that was the only action item we had. So
I do have one, and I'd like to request some direction. I think we have located a potential relocation site for Hatchet. And want to kind of talk
Okay.
with them about, well, before I
Okay.
say where, I just like, can I start negotiations with them about purchasing some property to relocate that hatch pit?
That's an exceptionally good idea.
Okay,
Start the
I will.
process.
I will start the process and when I have further details, I'll probably bring it back to a legal counsel meeting, so.
Good.
I think that's all Road and Bridge has, so.
You want to do the decision on reconsideration first?
Okay.
Do you have any questions about this? I sent it to you guys.
Nobody done it. Once again, appreciate you and your staff's thoroughness and preparing all the appropriate records and documentation.
I'll make a motion to approve the decision or sign the decision on reconsideration prepared by planning and zoning with the input and consent individually of the commissioners.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
And then we didn't have the resolution for Idaho Falls on the agenda till 10:30.
I think that's their stuff.
Your name's spelled wrong. Sorry, John.
It's a day for that. Every document signed, my name has been.
I can fix
misspelled.
it.
It's JONATHAN and JON.
Collected H's today.
right on.
So Michelle, you can do the other
Yeah.
decisions then.
Oh, you're right. I was
Okay.
wrong.
Then we'll do the resolution.
Track my statement.
I would make a motion, actually. Give me just a minute, would you?
Which one we?
Can we wait on the urban renewal ones for just a minute?
Yeah, we're not gonna do those till the end anyway, so we just have the other planning and zoning ones.
When you're ready.
Okay, go ahead.
So the first decision is the Ralph and Diane Herbert Trust creation of an agricultural protection area. This was sent to you ahead of time. It was to approve the creation of the ag protection area on the Herbert property with the conditions. Property complies with requirements of section 1-450, and then the property complies with requirements of Idaho State Code. It's about 10 pages. That includes the legal description of the property, because we do need to record this document, and we'll get our first one on the map. Did you have any questions or comments or see anything you wanted to be changed?
No, I did not.
All right, so this page here. There was Motion.
Yes.
Make a motion that we approve the request for the findings of fact for the conclusion of law and the decision to turn the Herbert property into ag exemptions as listed in the accompanying documents.
I second it.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Yes.
Great, yes. Go home.
The board is of it. You just have to turn it on. So there's that. That's the maps.
Then the next one,
So the next one is the RBH Idaho LLC rezone. From the the existing zoning of R2 to the SC1 zone. The recommendation is to approve the rezone request for that approximately 5 acres. I can go into more detail over the request, or have you all had an opportunity to review it?
Yep.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I think I'm answering. for-
your emotion, David, hey.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept the rezoning from R2 residential to SC1 neighborhood shopping zone. For the RBH. As listed in the accompanying documents.
a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then our third finding of fact today is the Luke Bloxham on behalf of Hector Oranis. Rezone application from general commercial C2 to A1, so to agriculture. Recommendation was to approve the rezone, subject to the following conditions. One was assess the access to the property shall be limited to one entry point on 49th North. And 2, the road right of way for a width of 50 feet wide for the entire width of the property along 49th North shall be deeded to Bonneville County. Any questions or other comments about the decision?
I have none.
No.
Okay, make a motion that we accept the rezoning requirements. Submitted by Luke Bloxham on behalf of Hector Erroneous. To rezone the property from C2 general commercial to A1 agricultural. As listed in the company documents.
Did I second that?
Would you know?
I will second that, sorry. Trying to do too many things at once here.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
So I think the only thing that we have left on the agenda is the resolution, but that wasn't on the agenda till 10:30, so I don't know if we need to wait or not.
Amend the agenda, Weston. Move it forward. Okay, we won't then.
So you can see if City of Ammon and City of Idaho
Yeah.
Falls have anything else while we wait.
well, I want to hear from Weston on a point first. Weston, did you have anything you wanted to bring to our attention on the motion for reconsideration?
I just didn't know if, it wasn't clear initially whether, the, counsel for the, requester, the, Parsons Bailey, whether they were notified about today's hearing or not on reconsideration. I know it was posted, and I don't know that they're necessarily entitled to more than public notice. I just don't know if, we reached out to Parsons Bailey to let them know this would be on the agenda today. Good, no.
I know our office did not.
Do you think that's important?
Well, usually when somebody files a motion for reconsideration, you give them a chance to present argument.
I can't speak for the Board of Commissioners, but in court, motions for reconsideration are often decided without a hearing.
No, and I agree with you, and from what I understand from the motion, having them argue the merits would really have no purpose based on your decision, so that's just a question they might ask, and so it'd probably be good as a courtesy in the future to notify applicants directly that we're going to be holding that hearing. It's not a hearing where testimony is accepted, new testimony, it's all based on the prior record, so I wouldn't say there's any prejudice here, but maybe as a courtesy in the future, if you'll remember to reach out when an application is submitted on reconsideration, to just let them know. Yeah, we're having this, this will be in front of the commissioners, so it's a lot to remember. But I don't believe there's any prejudice based on the decision, at least as I understood it, when it was submitted to the commissioners, so. Okay.
Postpone, we have to republish.
What?
If we postpone, we have to republish.
Oh, it's not a published hearing.
No, so.
Sorry.
Just for a week and.
Look forward to that.
That's for a week or.
Everything's for
This is all good.
What? No, we already signed it. That was the first thing we did.
Well, hmm.
Okay, right. I'm just saying.
You don't need to disclose your.
Yes, okay.
It's just.
Okay.
I want you to be able.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Weston.
I do have a couple of things to fill up a little bit of time, I guess. Just to keep you up to date on that odd lot property, the half acre gravel pit.
We got a
I-
counter offer?
Title company came back and said, yes, it is, been verified, it is county property.
So we have a half acre ground in the middle of a field. That's currently under sprinkler, but it's, our property is a gravel pit, which is a half acre, which,
So I contacted.
just so y'all know where.
Contacted the adjoining landowner, I got a fair market value from Dustin. That was $1,000 due to lack of access. The farmer is okay with moving forward,
Okay,
paid
great.
$1,000 for it, so next week I'll probably bring a resolution to you to declare it odd lot property.
Okay.
So,
I'm just shocked we still have one. I thought we'd done a really scrutinizing gleaning of ground to make sure we didn't have weird little bits of property stuck somewhere, so. Well done, thank you.
Still more out there, I
Yeah.
guess. Rock River 5, the streetlights where the landowners had filled in the sonotubes. Spoke with Rocky Mountain Power. I said, well, if we backed out with our vac truck, the sonotubes, would you take care of the conduit? And they said they would probably entertain that, so.
Well, that was a good one.
If you guys are okay with that, maybe we bill the district our time for the vac truck and
Yeah.
equipment labor.
I'm not familiar with this, almost come down or something.
Oh,
There's a little subdivision where they didn't get the light poles, the lighting put in soon enough. So the developer made all the holes, all the
Oh,
conduit and
okay,
everything,
okay.
and then they took so long that the homeowners started filling it in and stuff, so they didn't have big holes on their property and.
Now I remember.
and these were cardboard sleeved, the fiber sleeved,
Yeah, cardboard, so
Oh.
I do too,
and the
yeah,
homeowners filled them in. It's clever.
Okay.
anyway. I
Very
guess
good.
we'll try and work with
Great.
Rocky Mountain Power then to
Thank you.
get those done, so.
Good.
Which subdivision is it?
Rock River 5.
There's 3 total light poles.
Micah, Wade, have anything to bring to us?
Thanks, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I wasn't here last month. I couldn't make it.
We missed you.
I missed you too. And look, you got these fancy iPads now, so big improvement.
Thanks for putting that on the record, Mike.
So just a couple of things. Through June and into July, we have got so many complaints about fireworks. That's not new. We get the fireworks complaints every year. But the big change this year that you should be aware of is we're getting a ton of complaints about fireworks stand at Beach's Corner.
Not the fireworks stand or neon,
permanent
the
building.
building.
Probably the building,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Where people can buy the big mortars.
Mhm.
And, we're completely opposed to selling those fireworks, there or anywhere else in the county. And it's just been a major fight for the city of Bonneville. And it has not put a strain between the city and the sheriff's department, because we work really well with them, but it certainly has added unnecessarily to the workload.
We agree wholeheartedly,
Yeah.
and I'll
So-
explain that to you.
Yeah, I can give you a little bit of background. 'Cause
We have been working on this.
I actually went out there and, so the state fire marshal's office is the one that issues the wholesale license, which allows them to sell the aerial fireworks, not the non-aerial commons. And so they're in the statute, it's pretty specific on what you can do as a wholesaler, who you can and cannot sell to. But that wholesale license that allows them to do that is regulated by the state fire marshal's office.
Yeah.
So I went out there, I called the state fire marshal's office, and in conjunction with the fire district, I said, I don't feel like they're operating under the confines of their wholesale license. Please go out and look at this. The state sent their area fire marshal that represents this area from the state level out to look at the building. And he called me the next day and said, we don't have any problem with what they're doing. We're not gonna revoke their license. And I said, okay. And so then I said, can you explain that to me on a level of the statute? And the answer basically was, well, you probably are aware of the 2 buildings that are outside of Boise and Elmore County. When the new state fire marshal was put into office, we went and tried to shut those down off of the same basis. And we got a call from the governor that basically said, you're not gonna do this, or else you're not gonna have a job when you come into the office tomorrow. And that was the end of the story. So he's like, that's where the regulation ended.
All right.
So I've been working with Marco Erickson, a legislator, and there's a couple other legislators that are involved, and we're working on putting together some new legislation at the state level to try to deal with this in the future. But as far as from a building standpoint, to store those type of explosives, they built the building, did everything they could have building code wise. We couldn't tell them no. And then the state fire marshal's office, we were even apprehensive to ever issue the permit. And we have emails from the state fire marshal, Newt, basically saying, yeah, they comply, you can go ahead and issue the permit. So that's where it sits. We've been working on it, we're aware of it too, and
Might I suggest that Marco's really passionate about this? That you contact as many other legislators as have touch on our area. And encourage them to be as informed and active as possible in fixing this law.
Yeah.
I fought this battle for 10 years with the city of Idaho Falls and 5 years as a county commissioner, and finally, we're in a position to put an end to it. We put an end to it, and then we get slapped backward by the state. Really annoys me because the law says you can't do this here, and we have no control over the fact. I've never seen as many aerial fireworks as I have this 4th of July, all over the valley.
All weekend.
And with that comes personal property damage and personal injury, and they need to be aware of that fact.
Well,
Be aware of the lost homes, the lost property, and the personal injury to kids caused by irresponsible adults that mix alcohol and gunpowder in an irresponsible way. And if that's where we're gonna go with our society, then we need to remove the law so that we don't have a conflict. Sorry, I'm a little passionate about it,
I appreciate.
And
that.
the way we were handling it, that the county got out of it before is by building code, because they can't store those in the stands. There's limitations to how much of that type of explosive they can have in a stand. So that's what we told them all, you can't store these. We actually pulled permits the year before and went through all of that. And then this guy that built Casey Jones, who built Neon Boom, went over to Boise, looked at the buildings over there, did all his homework and basically brought it to us and said, hey, this is how I comply, and made the investment. And so, yeah, it's a statute level thing now until the state makes a change and decides they're willing to enforce that.
and the real cost to the county, I mean, individuals certainly have costs in injury and property damage. But the law enforcement services that are expended on this are not insignificant.
Right.
You know, there's services that are costing the county money because we aren't allowed to enforce things.
And I have talked to the sheriff and Tony Glenn both about this issue back and forth, and the hard thing they're having a hard time with right now is they're like, well, we can go write citations, but if we don't have any backing from the state level, where do we go with it from there? And that's kind of what they're trying to figure out. So, yeah, you're right, it's a problem. And
But-
we've been working on it, but I don't know where we get until there's a change at the state level.
The sheriff's office brought it to us a couple of months ago, and they and Austin have been working on it since. And there's nothing we can do because the state won't back us up in enforcing our ordinances.
and I apologize that we didn't bring, both of you into this earlier on in where we work, because when I was with the city, we finally got it support from the mayor and the council for the chief of police to enforce, and the fire marshal to team up and go and enforce this. And then we finally make progress in the county to do the same thing with the fire marshal who has jurisdiction and the sheriff to go do this, and then the state gets our feet out from under us, and it's.
I appreciate the background, that's frustrating, and we're frustrated too, we get like sites, as a lot of people don't understand where the boundaries are. And so we get the complaints about the place at Leach's Corner, people think that's in the city of Amended. So we explain, well, I mean, personally, this is my own personal opinion, not in the city of Amended with this, but I think, I really think a county-wide ban is what's gonna be necessary. And I just say that because when I lived in Sun Valley area, many years ago, they banned fireworks entirely, based on wildfires. And it worked. And now that's an economic development draw of that county. People go there because they can get a good night's sleep. They still have the city.
Drone shows.
Yeah.
There's been a number of counties that have done the same thing, and you can use drones.
As a former enthusiastic user of unspecified types of fireworks,
No criminal state there.
I will say that
That's the statute of limitations.
public opinion is trending the other way. People want fireworks. They're the ones who are the noisiest about it, and they're shouting down everyone else who doesn't want them. And we could ban them, but if we can't shut down that place out there, again, it's just flouting our authority and making us look like we don't have any. I'm very loath to do anything that we can't enforce.
Yeah.
And right now, we can't enforce it.
Sales and.
So if we get to a point at the state level that we're working with Marco on some of that stuff, I'll
Then
make
we
sure
come up
to
with a different
loop you into that,
source.
Micah, so that.
Yeah, we
You
go
know what's going
100% on board.
But
You know,
Certainly open
we believe
market
that
for drone show.
it takes away from the quiet enjoyment of someone's private property.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just very basic rights. And, you know, I get most of the complaints, and you've heard them all.
Yeah.
I work swing, I'm a nurse at the hospital, you know, my husband works swing,
I've got pets,
I got pets, my horses, you know.
veterans.
we get a lot of calls from veterans.
We got a lot of
Yeah.
calls.
And it wouldn't be bad if it was just, according to statute around the 4th of July. You know, just a couple days here and there, but it's all June and all July. I appreciate the background.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's,
like you guys have heard of it.
it's been fun.
The other thing I had was the First Street Bridge will be, so 17th Street is now open.
We heard about that.
Yes, we got that open, and now First Street will close. Because we had to reopen First Street on a temporary basis last year so that they could work on 17th Street. But First Street Bridge was not completed.
Right.
And so the up and down, the steep, you know, jump, you know, that we created there, that's temporary. They have to go in now and remove the temporary surface on the bridge, First Street. Bring that down to the level it should be and also taper that out to match with, the completed First Street Bridge. So it's gonna be closed probably the next 7 to 10 days, so,
For how long, do you know?
not too long this time, I think, if I remember right, Tracy said 2 months yesterday. So not 2 years.
So in the next week, it's gonna shut down for 2 months.
Yeah, I don't have an exact date on that yet. As soon as we do, we'll publish that on the website and on our social media.
That'll be separate from us actually starting to work on First Street, correct?
Yep.
The rest of the project will have to be bid out as a separate contract,
Okay.
yeah.
Um,
So 17th Street isn't completely, but they still have like one lane eastbound closed off,
On 17th Street.
right by the entrance into
It's
Ellison's.
wide open today.
Okay, last night it was,
Yeah, was it closed last night? They might be finishing up a couple of things,
okay.
but that one should be pretty much done. Thanks for your patience on that. That was a long haul.
Yeah.
And then last for me was, oh, by the way, Tuesday is far better. So I'm,
Oh, for,
Wednesdays were always the challenge, so it's nice to have these on. I don't know if motivated to change, but that's nice. And then last month with Hammond was our busiest month on record for residential permits. We had 82 residential housing permits in 1 month. Wow.
gee,
So that was quite good. We usually get about 220 per year. So we had a whole bunch going on. See how it's working.
more growth.
Lance's ears are open.
You wanna take care of the resolution now and then go to,
Yeah. Let me,
do you have anything? else?
No, commissioners, do you need me for anything further?
I don't think so.
I just
Thank-
looked through those statutes you and I talked about on that email and confirmed.
Okay.
Let's just proceed that way.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
No, he's not coming back, so.
The next item in the agenda is to adopt resolution 25-07 Idaho Falls Redevelopment Agency Urban Renewal Joint Agreement regarding, I think it's the Riverside project. And I want to first put on the record that I was concerned about a conflict of interest, so I conferred with our attorney. The redevelopment agency conferred with their attorney. The head of the redevelopment agency is my brother, Lee Radford. And so I wasn't sure whether or not I could vote on this. Both attorneys in their opinions on the ethics of it state that I can vote because neither of us have any financial motivation or interest in this at all. So I just want to put that on the record. What do you think? So I don't.
And you said it was a Riverside project. Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2507, the Idaho Falls Redevelopment Agency Urban Renewal Joint agreement for the Riverside project.
I would second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Signature page.
One thing we know for sure, there's just way too many Radfords wandering around here.
Interact with all three of them.
I know, sorry about that, Wade, sorry.
That's great, it's great.
There is one more of us. She has chosen not to engage at the level the rest of us. She's a Jefferson County resident.
Do you have anything else, Wade, besides the development
No,
stuff you want to go for us? But
yeah, if there's anything with the redevelopment agency, we had Megan come on as well, but she's our legal counsel. If you don't have any questions, that's fine too, but we had her attend. In terms of reporting, I just had two things. The first was I was just gonna let Commissioner Walker know that the U-Pig barn did get its pizza kitchen permit and site plan approval weeks ago. And so they're just needing to install some landscaping on the McNeil side, and we're pretty much done with that one. So I was gonna let him know that good news. The other thing was the city council had an extensive conversation yesterday in their work session about the impact fees. They are just, I know this doesn't really impact, I don't know how to say that, but the county, but they are looking to switch our impact fees from just the flat rate to square footage. There's a big push for that. And so, that's probably looking like it's going to be the change in how. There was a request from the Impact Fee Advisory Committee to, take out in the square footage, for example, when a house has an unfinished basement, to take that out of the impact fee, and also garages. The discussion yesterday was back and forth on that idea. They're okay with the garages coming out of that square footage calculation, but there's some debate about the basement, because just when that gets assessed to, there's kind of more of a idea that really should be assessed at the beginning for the full amount, but they're still having discussion on that. So that's the big change for us in how we're assessing those. And again, that hasn't been voted on, but it's just been discussion. And then we're already in budget season. I'm actually headed to a budget meeting after this for the rest of the day. So, but yeah, anything else? Idaho Falls.
when you know what the fee per square footage is, will you share that with me? I don't know if you have preliminary stuff, but I'd
I
just be
don't.
curious to see what that is and.
They have a chart that Tischler Weiss has assessed, but it's still, we haven't agreed on it yet, so.
And I think just for the commissioners, I've talked with Wade quite a bit, and I've also talked with Lisa Berkshaw quite a bit. We've been talking about impact fees and just the impact that has on the county. As far as especially commercial development right now and also residential development because of the increased cost. And so if people can come and develop in the county before they annex into the city, it pushes them to do that. In instances like RC Willey or Amazon, those bigger buildings, especially with where the commercial fees were now, I mean, a lot of those were looking at close to $1 million in impact fees, which just pushed them right back to the county. So we've been discussing maybe how we try to level the playing field on that in the future, and that's why I haven't been trying to have Wade keep me in the loop as to what's going on, so we can try to balance that out, but.
Good relationship. Nothing else.
Thank you.
We don't have anything else, Lance? Yeah, anything else?
I talked to a developer yesterday that praised you and Austin for that development that's going in out past Noise Park. Wilding, he was out there digging utility trenches and stuff, talked to him, and I'm just like, wow.
He
you're-
does have,
you're a
have
dreamer,
you seen
man.
the road?
No, I haven't been out there.
It's something.
I drove by Saturday on our way home from our camping trip, and I was shocked that how much he'd done out there.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good.
Pit run
Really.
in and utility trim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went from our day out there that I thought this was gonna be impossible to do. I was pleasantly surprised when I drove by, so.
Yeah, yeah, I went all the way down to the end of the road. It's, the terrain out there really changes a lot. It isn't just, flat level, there's some
Oh, it-
dips and
There's a
a big
lot,
ravine, and
Yeah.
it was interesting to see that, but.
lot of water flowing through that
Yeah.
ravine and the.
And Noise Park right there, huh?
It's
Past-
about probably close to a mile past North
Yeah.
Park.
So can you hear it?
I don't know if you would or not. The wind blows towards it, so.
There's a limited number of lots out there.
I am gonna send you, Lance, I just got this today, but I got a memo from IDWR that basically talks about what the changes to the domestic watering. Is they changed that bill. So you're up to 13,000 square feet or the half an acre, but then they went through and explained all the scenarios, but one of the exemptions that they put in, and I didn't realize. Is if you're splitting your parcel into a subdivision and you, even if it's bigger than 5 acre parcels, you have to have water rights to be able to transfer to develop. So like this subdivision that we did before that, now you couldn't do because of that, so I'll send it to you. It actually, they put in a bunch of examples and they have some in Jefferson and Bingham, and it explains when that would be appropriate, when it's not appropriate, but it just kind of an interesting read. If you guys want it, I'll send it to you too, because it just defines more how that change actually impacts domestic watering, so.
So does it mean that when you develop it, somewhere, you can't just have a by right residential well?
Correct.
The land has. to
Yeah,
have-
so they put in other exceptions such as following subdivision ordinances and stuff that makes it so if you're doing a certain density or certain lot sizes, you have to be able to transfer a water right. You just don't get a well by right, so.
I think that's a good.
I think it is
Yeah.
too, but I'll send this over to you guys too. I thought it was really a quite good explanation as to how it all works now, so.
That's basically how we do our annexations, so most annexes in the city, they have to bring their water rights with them. Or pay us, so fine. Sense.
Brad, did you have anything?
I'm sure, in case there were any questions on the resolution.
He missed us.
I don't know. I've been here for a couple of years.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.